All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. It's your boy E here, continuing talking about wrestling. Our first segment, we talked about our WWE NXT review, and segment two, we're going to talk about our AEW Dynamite preview. But before we move on, I want to remind you guys that you can always tip and donate to the show. We get a number of questions that come in from viewers like you. So to ensure that your question gets read on air in front of all the people in the world. So make sure you use the tips and donations link. It's at the GSMCpodcast.net. And just put your questions on top so I can see it. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me things that you think that you want to see as a wrestling fan. Tell me what I've talked about that has been absolutely absurd and erroneous. But ultimately, let's just have fun. This is a podcast. This is our podcast. It's your podcast just as much as it is mine. Wrestling fans, we're a different kind of breed. So, our togetherness definitely puts us apart from every other sport like the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, et cetera, et cetera. So, it really does help the show, guys. A positive review. We love peace, love, and positivity at the GSMC Sports Network. And, once again, the link is at the GSMC, podcast.net with your questions. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump on into some AEW Dynamite preview. Tonight on AEW Dynamite, it's going to be live from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, building momentum toward Double or Nothing. Obviously, their next pay-per-view that's happening on May 26th. And tonight we're going to see the Elite. Let's see Kazuchika Okada, also with the Young Bucks, also with Jack Perry, see if they get consequences for their actions in terms of Tony Khan. Also attacking Kenny Omega, although Kenny Omega is injured and is going to undergo surgery with his injury. So AEW president Tony Khan can't travel due to his neck and head injury, so he will be out as of tonight. Fellow EVP Kenny Omega was, although he was booted out by the Elite, he's still part of the executive vice presidents who has a creator clause. So we're all gonna find out what Kenny Omega is going to do to the EVPs tonight. Hopefully, he shows the Elite who's boss. Hopefully, he takes him down. Definitely something that I would love to see. And so Kenny Omega has been reported that he's not going to be able to wrestle for a very long time due to his injury, his divert cultus. But he will be back to give a big announcement tonight. Should be interesting. Should be exciting. I'm excited to definitely watch it. It's live right now. If anybody knows what's going on, you can post it up in the chat. If not, wait like my man Eric here. I'm always going to give you guys YouTube shorts, giving you guys live reactions of things that happen during these wrestling shows. So, absolutely something that you can wrap your head around, something that can, help your mind ponder and, think about questions that maybe you can put in the chat here in terms of the live broadcast. So will Kenny Omega use his EVP powers to ultimately punish the Elite? Possibly, maybe that could be what his announcement's going to be about tonight, or perhaps I was kind of speculating on this, and it's a huge damn maybe. But he's getting a little old. Kenny Omega's on the old side. He's been part of wrestling for just decades, absolutely decades. If you're a wrestling fan, and if you have not heard of Kenny Omega, then get out. No, I'm just kidding. But Kenny Omega, he's been part of the independent circuits. He's also been part of, promotions across seas, like Lucha Libre. He's been part of Lucha Libre, a bunch of other South African wrestling. He's been part of New Japan Professional Wrestling. He's just been all over the globe in terms of, he's accomplished it all. He has accolades in his illustrious career that, should not be, overlooked. Definitely Kenny Omega is the man. It would be absolutely terrible to see him kind of retire, but I've been shocked before. Or also a possibility: could the Hangman Adam Page come out to return? It's possible. I think it's possible, but I think they're probably going to save Hangman returning for perhaps maybe like a bigger circumstantial kind of idea. But it can happen. It can happen. So keep your eyes peeled, and keep your enemies close. What is it? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Hangman Adam Page got kicked out of the Elite. Hopefully he serves some just desserts, perhaps. Um, so we have our TNT champion, Adam Copeland, fighting Brody King tonight for the championship belt. You saw Copeland fight Buddy Matthews last week. A little crazy what happened after the match where he had the chair. He's going to hit him with the concerto. Obviously, didn't really happen. You saw Malachi Black come out daring him to do it. A little weird, a little awkward. Adam Copeland in like absolute awe. He was like, dude, like, are you serious? This is your boy, like, right here. Like, what is you doing right now? So I definitely think that they're going to address those issues tonight. But he took on Buddy Matthews. I feel like he's going to defeat Brody King. And waiting at the end is the final boss, Malachi Black of House of Black. So definitely going to be some cool things to watch tonight on AEW Dynamite live tonight. Well, not live tonight because I think it is live, but I think it already aired on the East Coast. But so definitely looking forward to that. Next, we have Orange Cassidy against Trent Beretta. Trent turned on Orange last month. Former best friend Chuck Taylor was taken out. They said he can't wrestle anymore. I don't know if I believe that's like total kayfabe, but they said he's not going to be able to wrestle anymore. He's out of the Don Callis family, so kind of crazy, but should be interesting. Next, we have Mariah May versus Harley Cameron. And then we see Toni Storm's next challenger, Serena Deeb, kind of like state her claim and why she feels like she's going to beat Toni Storm. And I know like she's absolutely fed up with the timeless Toni Storm. But I like Toni Storm. I feel like she's been a great AEW World Women's Champion. Definitely represented the brand pretty well. Able to put on great matches, worthy matches. And during her after her matches, when they do the post conference with Tony Khan, I feel like she can back her stuff up. Like she can just say things. She's like the antagonist. She could say things that can like anger future challengers, anger the audience, thus causing more more and more and more publicity. Us focusing on the timeless Tony Storm. So in a way, and I've heard this before from one of my communications professors in terms of public relations. Even bad publicity can sometimes be great publicity. Publicity is publicity. And I feel like Toni Storm right now, she's definitely kind of she's paying her dues. She spent some time in WWE, wasn't as successful as, the hype was. I feel like she could have lived up to more of a potential, but she's doing great right now in AEW. Definitely giving it all she got. You can see that in her matches. And I don't know. I really hope they don't take the strap away from her. But they could. They could crown a new champion at Double or Nothing. But who am I? I'm just an obsessed wrestling fan. I'm just kidding. Next we have AEW World Champ Swerve Strickland will come face to face with the man who attacked him and his crew, Patriarchy, Christian Cage. Christian Cage said a lot of crazy things, a lot of bad things. He mentioned like his family and his daughter and stuff like that. Crazy, but I love it. And I know I might sound like kind of a jerk talking about this, but that's just wrestling. That's just wrestling. If you're a wrestler trying to cut a good promo when you're in the ring, and if you don't mention someone else's family members, you're not doing your job right. Just kidding. No, just kidding. Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. It's gonna be great to see how Swerve Strickland reacts to Christian Cage. Ultimately, I hope he comes back and he kicks his ass. But, whose house is it? Swerve's house. So, next we have the Learning Tree. They have TW champion Chris Jericho and Big Bill are looking for action. There's been huge speculation that Hook and Katsuyori Shibata will answer their challenge and fight the Learning Tree and ultimately like come up with like maybe like an FTW rules match tag team at Double or Nothing. I think that would be absolutely phenomenal if they kind of made that happen. Definitely should make that happen. Should be pretty cool. Next, we see Mercedes Moné building up momentum toward her first AEW in-ring debut competition at Double or Nothing against Willow of Nightingale. We've kind of seen this go back and forth, especially last week where Mercedes Moné ultimately, it still shows that she blamed Willow and also ultimately holds this grudge that she wants to take her out. And she still feels like Willow was the reason why she got attacked when it went pitch dark about 2 or 3 weeks ago on AEW Dynamite. So it's kind of a touchy subject. I love Sasha Banks. I love Mercedes Moné. But it's crazy how they're kind of doing this booking here. I think a lot of the fans kind of keep seeing her promos, and like I think I remember listening to what former WWE Raw general manager Eric Bischoff was saying in one of his podcasts. I read an article about it, saying that like she's not doing anything. She's just saying the same stuff over and over and over again, cutting the same promo. What's the fun in that? Why bring a star of that caliber, Mercedes Moné, if you're going to make her sound like a broken record and ultimately give her on a silver platter, a chance at the TBS championship? I hope, had my hope in AEW. Don't want it to go anywhere. So hopefully this all makes some kind of crazy sense. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks, something crazy is gonna happen where Willow was like, you know what? Yeah, I took you out. I don't care, man. You're just some bam, and this like bam, and then like you're like, whoa. Like, I don't know. That's what I'm kind of hoping for, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Next we see Will Ospreay set to fight Roderick Strong at Double or Nothing for the international AEW Championship. Should be interesting. Next, John Moxley is also looking for a fight for his IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Should be crazy, but then again, absolutely entertaining to find out who's going to take on this crazy SOB, because John Moxley, obviously Dean Ambrose, the Lunatic Fringe, is just coming in hard and heavy all the time. Can't stop this guy. He said the moment like he retained last week on Dynamite, he was like, all right, who's the next one? So I can punch in the face. Like, crazy. Love the guy. Love John Moxley. He's the wild thing, man. So what's Samoa Joe going to do? Samoa Joe lost his championship at Dynasty against Swerve Strickland. So what's next for Samoa Joe? It could absolutely be anything. The Samoa Submission Machine is honestly good in any kind of bout or any kind of storyline he's in. There's no doubt that they're probably going to put him in a match to fight at Double or Nothing. But like I said, they could be maybe giving him some more time to rest, because it was confirmed that he had a little bit of an injury during his match with Swerve at Dynasty. But could be all be speculations. Like I said, sometimes I read things and I'm like, is that kayfabe? Like, is that like? But mostly, I feel like since he's not really been broadcasted or not really advertised, well, of course, it'd be like you hear Tony Schiavone, he's like, next we'll hear from Samoa Joe. Like, with that, I feel like AEW is going to put him in something more than just like your regular like booking in terms of a wrestling match. I mean, I never want to see Samoa Joe in like a squash match. I feel like squash matches are disrespectful for the superstar getting squashed and the superstar doing the squashing. But then that's just my opinion. Absolutely my opinion. If you guys feel differently, hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Tell me how you feel. And lastly, we're going to talk about potential trios, challengers for the Bullet Club moving forward through this week's episode of Dynamite. Hopefully, we'll get some trios to talk about tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be doing my AEW Dynamite review. So hopefully, like, we can have something set in stone, ready to talk about. The Bullet Club Gold is absolutely crazy. The Switchblade Jay White, he seems unstoppable. Absolutely seems unstoppable. But, that's AEW, man. That's AEW. Well, guys, so far, hope you are enjoying the show. We got done with our first two segments. Next, don't go anywhere. We're going to further elaborate on if this is a huge damn if Kenny Omega retires, AEW's popularity, if Omega decides to pull the trigger, hang up the boots. So, hey, don't go anywhere.